Hello, my friends, family, and other awesome human beings. Today we are doing hair diary day 79 probably, and we have a pleasure of exploring none other than Gatsby Waves. So, in my mind, I sometimes get a bit confused. What is the difference between those waves and the other waves? But I think it's the way we kind of hold the curling iron and the direction and the fall that forms. So, for this hairstyle, we need hair clip and then curling iron, duckbill clips, firm hold hairspray. So, here we go with the Gatsby Waves. The process is gonna be probably half on screen, half off, because I found that sometimes it takes some time for the waves to form properly. I need to kind of hold them for a bit. And yeah, and I don't want to make this video super long. Like some of my videos are super long anyways because I'm talking about emotional stuff. But hey, you know what is the plus side of this social media and having your own channel and kind of like a self-publishing, self-creating, is because you set the rules. So basically, if you want to have your video like very long, you do it. If you want to have your video very short, you do it. If you want to be serious in your video, you do it. If you want to have special effects, you do it. If you want to have it in a raw camera mode, you do it. So basically, you do whatever you want. So yeah, that's the idea, and that's what I like about that. So yeah, I am feeling pretty happy today. I have to tell you about a recent awesome shift. The one that I've been dealing with. I've been dealing with block of me feeling not good enough. So in our healing journey, for example, if we address something once, it doesn't always mean that we have addressed it to the very bottom, to the core, and we never need to address it again. Whenever we address an issue, we address it to the degree we are capable of handling it. So as we develop, we sometimes find that we need to revisit the issues that we have already addressed. So that's exactly what happened in my case. Okay, I'm talking and I'm doing these curls. I'm just gonna briefly basically describe you how I'm gonna do the waves. So, pause on my story and the shift, and just a brief talk through on how it's gonna work with these waves. So first I start with dividing my hair in where I want it to be divided. Then we section the hair from ear to ear, and the bottom section curl 2 to 5 centimeter sections of your hair with the curling iron. Hold your iron vertical, clamping the hair root and easing the hair through the hair tongue. Okay, allow it for 2-3 seconds and release. I think for me, I'm gonna have to do it for slightly longer time because my hair usually takes some time for it to heat up properly. And then we continue this technique. Curl the rest of the bottom section in small sections. Okay, so we're gonna separate some hair, put them up, and start with the bottom section and then work our way up. And then we're gonna deal with other stuff as it comes. So I'm gonna take this section away, like kind of like lots of hair from this side. I'm just gonna kind of like take it away and clip it away for the time being. And clip it away even more with the other clips, and then just kind of like section this hair away as well, because with long hair there is lots of hair, and then when they get tangled at the bottom with each other, it's a bit tricky business to kind of like get it back in places. Okay, so basically we start with curling all hair, so I'm just gonna basically do it automatically as I talk, and you will be able to see how it all works. So vertically, we need to hold it vertically, so it's gonna look like this. We take the section of the hair, and it's just starting at the root and easing kind of like a all the way down. So okay, let's try to do it like this, like that. Okay, so as we heal and address psychological, emotional issues, we go layer by layer. When we go layer by layer and we tackle whatever we can tackle, it doesn't mean that we actually finished tackling the problem to the very core. Sometimes we can do that, but not always. So with self-worth, the same happened to me. I went from very low self-esteem, from lots of self-hate in my 20s, in early 20s, into pretty confident and self-assured place. However, as my life was changing, like recently as well, I've experienced lots of expansion, especially with the work of my career and what I want to do in life. It created basically circumstances where for me to actually continue to move forward successfully, I actually need to address yet another layer of self-worth and self-esteem. Okay, guys, let's see if this technique is working. Oh, it is. Why am I surprised? Actually, that's really good. I like it. So, I have been kind of like back to my self-worth question, things like that. So I've been sitting with it, like sitting with self-acceptance, sitting with the uncomfortable feelings that I had within myself. And like uncomfortable feelings often for us who are, let's say, have humble beginnings in life, are like, okay, who I am as a person, my origins, where I was born, my family social status, and that kind of thing. So not feeling kind of like a significant enough or good enough, kind of like being from a poor country, not rich family, with not really having any social status high. The last part of the video was terribly lagging behind, so I had to delete it. Anyways, so I have curled my hair and I finished this, and the next step is continue this technique and basically always making sure you always curl in the same direction. Then lightly comb out your hair, comb downwards into the crease of the curl, then add a duck bill clip in the crease. This will help your wave to form. Clip the next crease and then continue clipping the rest of your hair the same way. Add hairspray of your hair and sit for a few minutes to take the shape. Release the clips. Oh, brushing through my curled hair, always have resistance to that. Anyways, so I'm gonna use the thickest comb that I have. I'm gonna go through it as lightly as I can. It actually reminds of Glamour Wave a lot, but you can see the pattern kind of like slightly different. This one is kind of like this. I'm just gonna clip it in the crease. crease. Clip it in another crease. And then do the same on this side. And now I'm gonna actually use a little bit of a hairspray. So, finish it off with spray. And sit for a few minutes for hairspray to dry and for hair to take shape. So, while I'm sitting for a few minutes, I'm gonna finish my story. So what happened now after I been sitting in a self-acceptance? First of all, so the self-acceptance is not like you sit and you can force yourself to accept yourself. The acceptance is kind of like, first of all, happens is like you stop resisting the reality of what has happened or what you have experienced or how you were born, where were you born, to who you were born. That has happened. And that is part of you. Now, what makes us resist it is because we feel like from that perspective we are not really good because our circumstances are not very good. But when we zoom out and we actually take a little bit kind of like a broader picture, we understand that like in a grand scheme of things were fine. So what if I was born in the situation like my mom was, to my grandmother and my grandfather? What if I had my mom's character, my mom's nervous system, my mom's circumstances and events that happened to her? Would I be any different? No, I would be exactly as she is, and I would be like her, and that would be the best that I can do. And what about my father? So if I was born to my dad's mom and dad, to his circumstances, to his place where he was raised, if I would have gone to his school and had his experiences with his nervous system, with his emotional system, with his character, would I have been different than he is? No, I would have been exactly as he is right now. So basically, you know, that kind of like a perspective really kind of changes the way you see your origins, and you see that actually you really got the best you can. Like me, I got the best I can. And what I got is not small, actually. I lived through those circumstances and I survived, and I'm actually pretty good. So my origins were not so bad then, right? And my parents are not so bad then, right? So once it's kind of like a thing of zooming out, first of all, accepting the reality, and then kind of like quitting the blaming, quitting the judging, and kind of like really going into the direction of understanding of the circumstances of each of them. And then once I've done that, and I was kind of like sitting with this kind of like almost amazement. It was not positive, it was not negative, it was just amazement, kind of like amazement where I was like, wow, I was blind, basically. I did not see it. Why we don't see things? Well, okay, we can go and talk about because of our wounding, because of our trauma. We don't see things because of that, because we hurt, because we look at the things with the glasses of being hurt. And then when we kind of like we take off those glasses and we put aside our personal pain without invalidating it, it's just kind of like putting it aside for the purpose of gaining perspective. It is possible to actually get really, really important insights. So that has happened, and then instantaneously in few hours, I have manifested more business, client, money, and also more kind of exposure as well. And today I actually received amazing letter from my friend, and I received some parcels which I haven't received for a long time. So basically I became a vibrational match to receiving kind of like appreciation and kind of like a gratitude and being valued. So that was amazing. Proof to you and me how things shift quickly in our physical reality once we shift internally. Okay, so final result of the waves, Gatsby Waves. I think it's actually pretty good. I like both the glamour waves and the Gatsby waves. It's very kind of like a wavy and pretty type of waves. And I decided to go for like one of my most blingy earrings, which you cannot really see it bling because it needs some serious light for that. So yeah, basically that was the kind of like a summary of the last few days, and I think I probably am still in the process of real self-acceptance and recognizing my worth and really kind of like owning my value. Yes, I'm gonna put another earring as well once I lost the end of it. But it's really kind of like a beautiful manifestation and great shift. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And that's what I have for today. Gatsby Waves and my shift and this emotional reality. So right now I feel like probably 9 out of 10. I feel actually really in my place, in kind of like a very grounded place, and where I can actually feel my value, where I can actually sincerely and deeply start to feel my value. Thank you for watching. I wish you to find where your value is at, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.